There are three very hotly debated ingredients in skincare. And here is the thing, you'll find enough experts who will say they are not so bad, and you'll find a whole lot of experts who will say do not use it. We are discussing synthetic fragrances, sulfates, and alcohols in skincare. Hello, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Rubina. I've had a career spanning 22 years in IT, healthcare, and skin and hair. I post a video once a week, so do stay tuned. We are understanding what these ingredients are, why are they in our skincare, are they any good, and then we are giving a verdict. So the first one are alcohols. Alcohols come with many names. They are called ethanol, isopropyl alcohol, alcohol denatured, and methanol. They come into our skincare because they actually help the absorption of the other ingredients in skincare. Number one. Number two, they can give the product a nice drying finish pretty quickly. Three, they also help in kind of making the formula more soluble and therefore more easily absorbable by the skin. So say you're working with an ingredient like resveratrol, which is found in grapes and is really fantastic in anti-aging. The resveratrol molecule is not small enough to enter the skin very easily, but when it's combined with alcohol, it actually helps its absorption. So yes, alcohol do play a good role in skincare. So that brings us to the third question. What is the debate? Well, the debate is plenty. The first debate is that alcohols actually tend to dry up your skin. And they also kind of destabilize the lipid barrier of our skin. Now, what is the lipid barrier? Lipid barrier of the skin is basically this protective barrier that we have around our face, which keeps it safe from all the pollutants and the not so good stuff like the bacteria or the fungus or the pollutants. So it's a very, very essential component of our skincare. And alcohols tend to damage that. The point to understand, or what gets lost in this whole debate, is that not all alcohols are bad. There are the good alcohols and there are the bad alcohols. The bad alcohols are the drying alcohols, like the denatured alcohol. But there are also the good alcohols. The good alcohols are the fatty alcohols, which actually help your skin a lot. And fatty alcohols generally come from fat-rich fruits like the coconut. And when these fatty alcohols are combined with cleansers, they really help in cleaning up your skin without kind of stripping it away and make the product very gentle. So they are the good alcohols. Which brings us to the verdict. Well, the verdict is that it is so incredibly important to understand the ingredients in any product that we are picking up. So if you're able to understand the ingredients, it's very easy to make out whether this particular alcohol in this product is good for us or not. So if you read something like denatured alcohol, or you read SD40, SD39, SD stands for super denatured. You don't want those alcohols in your skin. But if you're looking at fatty alcohols, you want those in your skincare. The fatty alcohols actually work like emollients, which means they hydrate your skin and make it soft. And these alcohols can be recognized by the names that they go with, which are, gosh, I can't pronounce them, but they're called cetyl alcohol, cetyl alcohol, and cetyl alcohol. And the third are the aromatic alcohols, which can be very, very drying and very, very irritating to the skins. The aromatic alcohols could also be the fragrances or the synthetic fragrances in our skincare, which brings us to the second ingredient, understanding synthetic fragrances in skincare. Now, why do we need fragrances in our skincare? Well, we've been so conditioned by the beauty industry or by the marketing and advertising. The first thing we do when we pick up a jar of skincare or hair care is, and while the sensorial experience of it is very uplifting and we've been conditioned that it's a very important part of beauty and skincare, the fact is that apart from it making us feel good about certain fragrances, most of the synthetic fragrances in our skincare do nothing. Most of the synthetic fragrances in our skin are very, very debatable. So to understand why, it's good to understand the first question: what are synthetic fragrances? So synthetic fragrances are basically high performance scents, and these are made of synthetic material. Now these synthetic aromatic materials are generally created artificially, and they could have a multitude of ingredients which the skincare provider doesn't have to list as part of ingredients. So if a product irritates you, there's it is very hard to tell what in the product is really irritating to the skin, because there's so many components to a fragrance. And so therefore it's a good blanket rule that just avoid products which have synthetic fragrances. Talking about benefits of synthetic fragrances, it really gives us no benefit apart from the fact that it makes us feel nice and woozy, because we just like some smells, like someone might like rose, lavender, tuberose, but other than that doesn't really benefit our skin in any way. In fact, the reason why they're debated so much in skincare is because they're very irritating, they can be sensitizing to the skin, they can create inflammation in the skin and actually congest the skin and lead to acne breakouts. So the verdict. So given the fact that there is no direct advantage of synthetic fragrances to your skin or hair, the verdict is pretty simple. Avoid synthetic fragrances. And now for the last and the big daddy of all the debated ingredients in our skincare, the sulfates. So let's understand what are sulfates to begin with. Now sulfates are what gives out cleansers or shampoos this nice foamy feel and gives us a feeling of nicely being cleaned out, whether it's a hair or our face. And the funny thing is that they're actually natural products. Sulfates are derived from coconuts and palm oils. So quote unquote, they should be safe. So well, if they're safe, then what's the debate? But that's a little difficult question to ask, because the thing is the sulfates help clean the surface, whether it's your hair, whether it's your skin. The ongoing issue is the problem comes after that. Sulfates on our skin can cause a lot of irritation. If they enter our eyes, they can cause a lot of irritation. But we've been using sulfates for such a long time that it's not like every time we reach out to a shampoo or reach out to our a cleanser that we cringe thinking is going to irritate my skin or irritate my eyes. Well, if there is not an upfront irritation, we kind of use the product. But the bottom line is that it's an irritant. So over a period of time, they tend to cause more damage than good to your skin or your hair. And apart from them really cleaning out your skin, they're not doing any direct advantage to the skin or hair. So given that fact, it just makes more sense to have a product which is sulfate free. There are other substitutes for sulfates which can be equally good, if not better. So completely avoiding SLS in our skincare or hair care is a good way to go about it. The verdict really is pretty straightforward. Look for these ingredients in your skin and hair care which are a great substitute for SLS. These are sodium cocoyl glycinate, SCS, that is sodium cocoa sulfate. Both of these come from coconut. Then we have disodium, sodium cocoyl glutamate. Then we have disalicylglucide and lauryl glucoside. That gave me a tongue twist. But hard as they are to pronounce, they are very, very gentle on our skin and hair. A great substitute for sulfates or SLS. That brings us to the end of this video. I would absolutely avoid sulfates and I would avoid synthetic fragrances completely in my skin, really, because they do nothing good for my skin or hair. So there is no trade-off for me to use them. However, when it comes to alcohol, if you know better, you buy better. So it's good to know your bad alcohols from the good alcohols, because the good alcohols are really, really good for your skin. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, please do subscribe. I do hope to see you again. I post once a week. Till I meet you again, take care. Bye.